You ever speak to me like that again, better be wearing a cup.
Baby steps.
One break, I'm in
Okay, friends, let's everybody take your positions, please. Here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, rolling. Dave!
And
Dave!
Unchained.
welcome to Dave and Dave Unchained, a Van Halen podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dave.
And we are at episode 61, Dave. You know what the number 61 represents?
Is that the number with the asterisk next to it?
No. 61 is Mickey Mantle's number. You should know that.
Why should I know that?
Because
I
you're a
don't
big
follow
Yankee
baseball.
fan.
No, I'm not.
You're always yanking it.
Oh, I can't believe I walked right into that one. Wow.
Woo! We're going to kick off the new year in style. If you can. Well, I have to say, can you believe it or not, Dave? A year ago today, we were in Vegas.
Man, that seems like eons ago.
When we had the Cabo Wabo meeting with all our listeners, and we went to the second Roth show, that was a year ago today. Can you believe it?
Man, I feel like we caught like the last flight out of Vegas.
It's true. It's unbelievable. And it's a miracle that happened. It's incredible that was only a year ago. It seems like it was 10 years ago because of all the goings on in the world. But we're going to start off here by, obviously, we all know this is Eddie's birthday month. And, you know, it's just kind of hard and sad to celebrate someone's birthday who's passed on. But, of course, we didn't want to let it go by without recognizing it. So we have this special birthday dedication to Eddie. And here we go.
Eddie, go get him.
Okay, so even though this is Eddie's month and it is his birthday, but we've been doing so much dedication to Eddie that we are going to be doing a whole other episode this time out. We'll announce that at the end of Van Halen News.
Van Halen.
All right, Dave, believe it or not, the band is no longer, but the news continues to come in like you can't believe. So, just to start off, we have Wolfgang did an interview with Pierre Robert. Dave, do you remember Pierre Robert from WMMR in Philadelphia back in our college days?
I do. I recognize the name right away.
That's right. That's right. Well, he did an interview with Wolf, and he talked about all kinds of different things, so wanted to highlight some of the interesting points that he made. He asked him when he joined Van Halen, did he feel a lot of pressure? And Wolf said, of course, there was a lot of pressure, but we rehearsed so much, it was just about getting up there and locking in with Dad and Al, which made everything all good, and I just went for it. He also asked him to describe the experience of being the bassist in Van Halen. He said it was incredibly overwhelming, but so exciting at the same time. We rehearsed for so long that you finally get to do what you were waiting the whole time to do. There were a lot of nerves, but eventually you get into it and you get comfortable. Then he talked about 5150. He asked him about the actual studio. And he says it's a bunch of small rooms put together with a large live room. A lot of nicks and scratches and cigarette burns all over, but he says, I never want to fix that or remodel it. All the character is baked into the walls. It's home to me. When they asked him about Eddie, he said he had been struggling up and down over the years, but we always had faith that he would make it through. When he asked him how he's been feeling, he says, it really doesn't even feel like I'm ever going to be 100% again. You just live with the empty space, and you learn how to carry it, then fill it. And my father's pride and belief in me is what keeps me going. I feel closest to him when I'm playing music. And then we talked that his favorite song on the new album was Think It Over, Eddie's favorite song. But the album has no title, apparently. And he said it's coming late springish. And when asked about the kitchen sink tour, he says it would have been a beautiful mess, but a good time. Interesting little tidbits from Pierre Robert. I couldn't believe when I heard his name. I was so thrown away because I remember listening to MMR when we were in college so much.
I remember the day.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Well, Wolf continued his radio tour on KLOS FM in Southern California with Full Metal Jackie. What a name, huh? So he said that his favorite instrument, believe it or not, is the drums. And he claims that his favorite songwriters, in addition to Eddie, of course, is Jim Atkins from Jimmy Eat World and Clint Lowry of Sevendust. And when they asked him about the different eras of Van Halen, he had said, in the Roth era, I love the aggression. They were just like a steam train that nobody could compare. With the Sammy Hagar era, I loved how the melodic side was explored more. They still maintained that edge, but they weren't afraid to explore the melodic side. Those were two really important things to me about the band. Also, that the B-sides are just as good and maybe even better than the popular songs. So once I got to make the set list, I tried to fit in as many as I could. So that's why, and there's proof right there, and we've said this before, that Wolf was in charge of the set list, and that's why we got so many cool songs added throughout the years. That was all because of Wolf. What do you make of this, Dave?
I think it's awesome that he gave us so much music, through the set list. I mean, Wolf was just like responsible for the reunions, period. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have even seen the band.
Hey, he called Roth, for Christ's sake. Right?
Right. And it was interesting how he was very kind and very respectable to both eras of the band.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he seemed to be really cool about that, which is nice. Now, when it came time for the new year, Wolf put out a statement. He says on social media, Wolf said, fuck 2020. I'll never be the same person I was before this year. Hopefully I can figure out how to process it all, but only time will tell, I guess. Some wonderful things did happen that I'm very thankful for, but it's also bittersweet. I wish he was here. It's very hard to keep going, and at this point, I still don't know how. Time keeps moving regardless, and you somehow find a way, because you don't have a choice. As much as I'd like to crawl into a hole and stay there for the rest of my life, my father would be so disappointed. I gotta keep moving. If not for me, then for him. It's been such an awful fucking year for a myriad of reasons. All things considered, I hope everyone is staying safe and well. Here's hoping things start looking up in 2021. See you all there. That was his message on social media. Obviously, Wolf having a tough time, but he's soldiering on. Now, of course, there's always people, making comments, and he was responding to guys. One guy said, I assumed this guy, Eric, the rural juror, he calls himself. He was making a comment on Twitter. He said, I always assumed your involvement in the band was what got your dad back out on tour, and I was thankful for that. I saw you in Indy with Kool and the Gang, and you guys tore the roof off that place. And Wolf responded, it was, but there will always be people who hate me because I'm not Mike. That's understandable. I just wish some of them could at least be indifferent to me instead of vehemently hating me and calling my recently deceased father an asshole in my mentions. Ugh. So that's brutal to hear. I mean, everybody's got to lay off this kid. I don't understand why anybody would have any reason to pile on him. It's really strange because, what has he done to anyone, really?
Some people just have nothing better to do than to be keyboard warriors, Dave.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's so sad. Instead of, embracing his art and his music and, let's be honest, he's not just some guy. The guy has talent. I mean, for Christ's sake, he wrote and played every instrument and every lick of music on his album. And so far, we've only heard 2 songs, but they're fantastic. I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Hate is going to hate.
Hate is going to hate. So, interesting enough, he went on social media and gave us a few teases about something, and I'm very curious about it. I'm curious to see what you think, Dave. So, Mammoth was filming something. Mammoth WVH, which is what Wolf goes by. Wolf announced on social media that he's filming something Mammoth-y today with a shot of the Mammoth band setup at 5150. He had the bass, the guitar, the drum. It would look like a performance was about to happen. Then he said, I'm going to use a special pick for day 2 of filming Mammoth-y things today. And the pick was an Eddie Van Halen pick. It was, the red and white and black stripes. So he was obviously using that for good luck. Now, what is this young man up to? Could he be shooting a viral concert for his new material from 5150, like I predicted? Or is he shooting a video for his first single? What do you think, Dave?
I think he's shooting a video for the first single.
It would make sense, and I'm wondering if he's going to shoot it with him playing every instrument. Now, obviously, with today's technology, you could put that all together.
Yeah, I was wondering if he's doing that, or
Right.
if he had his band there. So I'm really curious to see which one it is.
Yeah, well, we didn't see any band members. I think that maybe that would give it away. Then Valerie was congratulating him on social media about what a great job he did. Very curious as to how this all turns out. So obviously something's coming soon, because if he's prepping, in terms of promotion, then he did say, late spring. So who knows? We'll see what happens. Now, Spin Magazine named Wolf one of the 20 most interesting new artists of 2020. The emerging artist who kept us hopeful during a miserable year. He said Van Halen bassist Wolfgang Van Halen proved he can carry on his family legacy while expanding beyond his hard rock past. It looks like he's getting some good press. Another interesting thing came out in a discussion on social media is when someone talked about, remember, Dave, when they removed Michael Anthony from the Van Halen 1 cover and put a picture of Wolf in there?
Oh, yeah.
That was a whole thing. That was probably back in, I'm going to say about 2007, right? That was way before we did the podcast.
Yeah, because that was right when the band had announced their reunion.
Right.
And we're going to go on tour, right?
Right. So believe it or not, someone had posted this up there on social media, and Wolf addressed it. He says that was some dumbass on the website that did that dumb Photoshop shit. He said it was not a band decision. We were never cool with that. It was ridiculous. Which is why when we found out about it, it was undone immediately. And apparently, I didn't see this one. The cover of Women and Children First was changed to a text-only version, replacing the group photo that included Anthony. Did you see that, Dave?
Yeah, it was all green.
Oh, okay.
They removed the picture and just